Before I introduce our next speaker, a couple more announcements. Don't forget there is a Tea Party Presidential Candidate Picnic Saturday, August 6th, 11:30, Dante's Pasta and Vino, Route 125, Barrington, on the soccer field. Burgers, hot dogs, chicken, soft drinks, of course, and live music. I want to say something about this event. I'm up from that area, as a matter of fact. And this gentleman opened up his facility to let people come together and do this fundraiser, and immediately people within the community turned away from him. So this is a gentleman who's done a lot for the Barrington community, and because he decides to help host a liberty-oriented event, there are some unkind people who've decided that boycott is the best method. So what we need to do is make a great attendance to this event, and then any chance you're up on 125, if you want some great food, Dante's is the place to go. I also want to talk, how many of you feel satisfied with the public education system right now in New Hampshire? Raise your hand if you do. Not a lot of hands. I'm not even looking up, I can tell. One of the things is that when we find out what we want to do with education, what we can do with education, one of the great groups out there is Liberty Harbor Academy right behind there. And Julianne Cooper right over here, if you look over to my right. Wonderful woman, what she's doing with Liberty Harbor Academy. She's been on my show quite a few times. And even if you don't have a kid in school right now, you have to try to help the next generation out any way that you can, and helping a group like Liberty Harbor Academy is certainly one of those great things you can do. This next candidate served in the New Hampshire House and then decided that a stronger voice was needed from this area, and she decided to run for state senate. She truly has been one of the great voices for our children up in New Hampshire on education, on nutrition. She certainly brings a unique and qualified voice from her past experience of working in the school system and help guide those processes through. And one thing you can say about Senator Stiles is that when things are tense and things are tight and people tend to want to yell at each other, Nancy has that calming presence that brings everybody down and reminds them that a problem needs a solution and yelling isn't going to help. So she's a great value in the state senate. A pleasure to introduce you to your state senator, State Senator Nancy Stiles.
Thank you, Jeff. And I too would like to thank Diane and all of the area communities that came together to put this on today. I'm not going to repeat everything that the speaker and our two wonderful representatives have filled you in on the activity that's been going on this year. But sitting on the Senate has been a little bit different for me. As you know, we have a 19-5 vote in the Senate, so we have pretty much control. We can do pretty much as we want to do when things come over to us. There are, I think it's 8 brand new senators this year that have had absolutely no legislative experience, so it has been a learning curve for them in some instances. But I can tell you, after serving 6 years in the House, both Senator Roush and myself have also found it to be a learning curve. And I know that Diane said, tell us something funny when you get up there, Nancy. And I thought, you know, what happened to me that was funny? Not a lot, but I will share with you my very first meeting as chair of the Senate Education Committee. I went to take a vote on a bill that we were going to move forward, so I called for a roll call. That's what you do in the House. The House committee, you ask each member of the committee exactly how they're going to vote. They don't do that in the Senate. They just say A. So I find it was a very quick learning curve for me in that area. The thing I'm most proud on that we did in the Senate this year is we really did focus on 2 things: the budget, living within our means, and making sure that we try to take care of our most vulnerable citizens. And I think that between the 2 chambers that we actually accomplished that, and I'm very, very proud that we have put forward a budget that is going to start us down that road. The other thing that I'm very proud that we did is we took a look at the retirement system, and as Will has told you already, made some very different changes to that system so that it will be sustainable over a period of time. People who are retired will continue to get their retirement. We didn't impact those that are in the trenches right now and eligible for retirement. The changes were made going forward, and the changes that we made will sustain the program so that it will be there. I know that some of the current employees are upset because we increased their contribution by 2%. It is their retirement. that they're paying into. And if they want to see it there when they retire, they've got to contribute to it. Otherwise, we can let it go bankrupt and no one gets anything. So those are the two pieces of legislation I think we worked really hard on in the Senate this year. I did particularly work on the education piece, and I am pleased to tell you that they did accept my language that came forward and in the end in the committees of conference, which focuses our appropriation on children. So if you have more children, you get more money. If you have less children, you get less money. The money is directed exactly to the child so that we can support that child in that situation. Those were some of the things that I was happy to work on this year. Going forward, I look forward to representing you, and I think probably one of my campaign people is out there somewhere and would really get upset if I didn't say that I represented Hampton Falls, Hampton, Northampton, Rye, Newcastle, Portsmouth, Greenland, and Newington. Those are the communities that are in District 24, and I look forward to representing them again in the second half of the session. But I think our focus in the second part of the session needs to be on jobs and the economy, and that has to be paramount in every single thing that we do. I know the House has a study committee looking at the jobs issues and looking at how business regulations. There's one in the House too. I hope we get to talk to one another so we can come out with the same thing. It would be nice if we could agree before language came out, instead of having to work it out afterwards. But our focus really has to be on jobs and the economy. That's what we said we were running on. We need to have that paramount. There will be other subjects that will come up. We cannot let them take the media coverage over jobs and the economy, or the Republicans will be gone in the next election. So I ask you, if you see that happening in the newspaper, make sure you focus your letters to the editor on jobs and the economy and things that we are doing in the legislature to move that forward. Thank you very much. It's a privilege to have the opportunity to serve you, and I hope to have conversations with each and every one of you before the day is out. Thank you.